Yo, what's going on, guys? This is me, Baldson, and today we just got some really crazy support for Yubel out of everything because it's actually insane. Like, I think 2 days ago I uploaded a shorts. By the way, you have to check out my shorts. But yeah, it was a short about the worst boss monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! And one of them was Yubel. And speaking of the devil, it's almost as if Konami heard me and they were like, you know what? Nah. I'm gonna make you take back what you said, and we're gonna be giving Yubel new support, and it's actually gonna be real support. So yeah, I'm going to be reviewing all these new cards right now. But before we go any further, friendly reminder to smash the like and subscribe button, and now let's get started. Alright, this is absolutely epic, and by the way, Yubel was one of the users of Super Polymerization in the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX anime, the other one being the Supreme King, so the evil version of Jaden. So yeah, Super Poly is actually an anime card. Anyways, the first card is Spirit of Yubel. Looks pretty freaking sick because it's technically Yubel in the artwork, but with the castle and everything. So I think it's the is it the Dark World? Actually, I think Yubel might be from another universe. Anyways, level 10 Dark Fiend, 0 attack, 0 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can special summon this card from your hand. It's a level 2 reactive. If this card is special summoned, you can take one spell or trap from your deck that mentions Yubel and either add it to your hand or set it right away. Alright, not bad, not bad. So even if you're under Droll, you can still set a card directly from the deck to the field. So you can play through Droll with this card. That's really cool. We rarely see cards like that. But it still loses to Ash because it still includes an effect to search a card. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, you take no battle damage from battles involving this card, so fitting in the same theme of the original Yubel. If this card is destroyed, you can special summon one of your Yubel that is banished in your hand, deck, or graveyard. Not bad, because you can also destroy it from the hand or deck and trigger this effect, so that's actually really interesting. Not bad, actually. There might be some synergy with some other archetypes, but this is actually pretty respectable, but it has to summon the original Yubel, which is fine because it doesn't have like a summoning condition of this card cannot be special summoned except by blah blah blah. So that's pretty cool. All right. So not too bad for the first card because it's a starter in a way. I mean, not really because it does nothing on its own, but it works well in tandem with other cards. Anyways, again, fitting in the theme of the cards that Yubel played, the new version of Grinder Golem. Hopefully, it's going to be maybe less degenerate than the older one, but just as cool. You can only special summon Geist Grinder Golems once per turn. I think Konami learned their lesson. Alright. You can reveal one Yubel monster in your hand. Okay, special summon this card from your hand to your opponent's field. Alright. Then you can special summon the revealed monster to your field. So it's actually funny because this card does exactly what it used to do back in the anime in a way, except that you're bypassing, well, you're skipping the step where you're summoning tokens and then tribute summoning for Yubel. But yeah, it's just that you can't use it in like a link deck and like bounce it back with Akashic, Security Dragon, and keep looping it with Firewall, because that's the reason why Grinder Golem got banned. Even though it makes you skip your normal summon, it's still unfair. It was, I think, at one point, like almost a 1-card FTK. Anyways, once per turn during damage calculation, if this card battles a Yubel monster, your opponent gains 3,000 life points. It's a battle phase effect, so it's not too good. But it's actually funny how it's an effect that will trigger on your opponent's field to help you out. If you special summon Yubel while this card is in your grave, you can special summon this card to your opponent's field. So again, Grinder Golem, I mean, both Grinder Golems, the goal is literally to give them to your opponent. So Konami did a really good job at just recycling the theme of what the old cards used to do. Same thing with the Yubel and the Grinder Golem, but this is... oh man, this is so cool to look at. Like, just all... we remember all of these cards as just really freaking cool cards that Yubel played, but also they were played competitively. And the crazy thing is, when you think about it, both Grinder Golem and Samsara Lotus have been banned in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually. I don't know if Samsara Lotus is unbanned now. Yeah, actually, it is, but there was a point where this card got banned for quite a while because it created infinite loops with, what was it, Phoenix Shin Cluster Amaryllis and Topologic Bumper Dragon. I think that's it. But yeah, you could actually FTK in the plant deck. That was ridiculous. Is it actually a plant? Yeah. The original Samsara Lotus is a plant, but the Samsara Regenerating Lotus, the new one, is actually a fiend. Okay, anyways, you can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name once per turn. You can tribute this card, special summon one Yubel monster from your deck, so it's quite literally a Lone Fire Blossom. During your opponent's turn, when a monster effect is activated while you control a Yubel monster, quick effect, you can tribute this card, then that effect becomes destroy one Yubel monster on the field. Okay, so the goal is to force your... pretty much you're almost negating your opponent's monster and you're transforming it into something that helps you out because it allows you to evolve your Yubel since every single time it gets destroyed, you special summon the higher level Yubel. So you're going first into Terra Incarnate and then the Ultimate Nightmare. Unfortunately though, these boss monsters are not good. So that's kind of my issue. They actually do nothing outside of battle phase effects. So even though you are facilitating that play, it's not gonna be too great. Anyways, during your end phase, if you control Yubel and this card is in your grave, you can take this card and either add it to your hand or special summon it. So again, this is, I think, the exact same effect as the original Samsara Lotus, or at least the way it should have been back in the days. You know, in the anime, that's what it was used for. I don't think you could add it to your hand. It had to special summon itself. But yeah, this is once per turn. So it's like, it's not gonna cause FTKs and you have to control Yubel. So this is very, like, all of these cards actually are just restricted to the archetype, so they really cannot get abused. Anyways, this card is very, very interesting. Yubel das ewige Liebe Wachstel or something like that. I can't speak German, sorry. I think Liebe means love. I don't know about the other the other words, but yeah, this is, it's so obvious that this is German. Anyways, level 12, Dark Fiend, 0 attack, 0 defense. Materials, 1 Yubel monster. All it had to be was Yubel, specifically, not Yubel monster, and it would have been broken, because the other materials are 1+ effect monsters on the field. So I think you can easily, quickly realize that the goal of this card is to summon it with Super Poly. But if it was very strictly Yubel and not a Yubel monster, this card would have been abusable in Tier Elements, because you could actually use King of the Swamp and then fuse away like your opponent's full board. Like, whoa, this is nuts. Like, you can use 6 effect monsters your opponent controls and your Yubel, and Super Poly is just really nasty. Anyways, you can only use the first effect of this card's once per turn. If this card is Fusion Summon, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each fusion material used for its Fusion Summon. Well, technically, you could be using a lot of materials, so yeah, this could actually burn for quite a lot. Cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. Also, you take no battle damage from battles involving this card. Okay, if this card battles an opponent's monster at the end of the damage step, inflict damage to them equal to that monster's attack, and if you do, banish it. Okay, non-targeting, non-destructive removal, and you're burning with that effect, and you're also burning with this effect. You can easily OTK your opponent just by resolving a Super Poly going second, but granted you have a Yubel monster on the board, and that might be the hardest thing to do. Well, actually, maybe the hardest thing to do would actually be getting your hands on Super Poly, but there might be some ways of circumventing that if you can actually search it. Anyways, the next card is Nightmare Pain. I don't know if this was an anime card, because I know Yubel played quite a lot of anime cards that we never got yet. But whatever, continuous spell, you can only use the first effect of this card's once per turn. During your main phase, you can destroy 1 dark monster in your hand or face of field, and if you do, add 1 Yubel or 1 card that mentions it from your deck to your hand, except Nightmare Pain. So far, this searches both the Grinder Golem and the Samsara Lotus. And also, being able to destroy a dark monster in your hand means that you can destroy the first Yubel, and then you're going to be able to special summon the original Yubel from the deck. So it's a Rhoda and gets your stuff going. That's actually really good. But you have to destroy a dark monster specifically. Would have been nice if you could destroy any monster, and then you go, I'll destroy baby Ceratosaurus, and then, you know, do some things. But no, unfortunately. Anyways, while you control any Yubel monsters, all opponent's monsters must attack them if able. Okay, so in other words, your opponent cannot go main phase 1, main phase 2, end phase. Rather main phase 1, end phase. You must go main phase 1, battle phase, main phase 2, end phase, because the battle phase becomes mandatory if that happens. Your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from battles involving your Yubel monsters instead. That's just giving the original effect of Yubel to like all of your Yubel monsters, but all it really does is make this card a little better, because you're already not taking damage, but then your opponent is taking the damage instead, so I don't know, this feels a little redundant, but it doesn't matter because the first effect is what you're really looking at, so this is already good, honestly. Oh wait, alrighty, so Mature Chronicle is definitely a card that I remember from the anime. I really remember the script and being able to, you know, get some counters and eventually, you know, do some things with those counters. You can only use the second effect of this card once per turn. Each time a Yubel monster and or monster that mentions Yubel is special summoned, place 1 Chronicle counter on this card. Ooh, okay. Yeah, it's kind of rough because it's only when you summon... Yeah, I mean, yeah, unless it's like a mirror match. You can remove up to 5 Chronicle counters from this card you control to activate one of these effects. So if you're removing 1 counter, you're special summoning 1 Yubel from the grave, very specifically the original Yubel. If you've got 2 counters, you can add 1 of your banished cards to your hand, any of them. With 3 counters, you banish any card from your deck. This doesn't look that great. 4, you destroy a card on the field without targeting. This is also not too great because the 5th one is like just infinitely better than everything else. You add a Super Poly from the deck to the hand, and again, Super Poly with this card is looking kind of terrifying. So this card's really cool, but I don't know, it would have been nice if on top of that it also searched on activation so that you get value right off the bat and you get value over time. Because realistically, you still have to summon a bunch of monsters in order to trigger this effect, unless there's like a combo that I'm not seeing. But yeah, going second, triggering this effect to remove 5 counters right away on like your very first turn going second to search Super Poly to break the board kind of looks a little unrealistic. Anyways, moving on, so we've got a trap card right here. Eternal Favorite, continuous trap card, once per turn. You can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. Oh, okay, so if you've got 2 copies of this card, you can use the first one, and you can use the second one. Alright. Special summon one of your Yubel monsters that is banished or in your grave. Neither player can activate cards or effects when it is special summoned. Okay, so you can go like effect of this one to search or set, and your opponent can't respond. That's kind of what it means, and it also means that you can torrential tribute to your own monster. Oh, no, actually, no, it's neither player. Yeah, never mind. I was gonna say, if it was only your opponent cannot respond, then yeah, you can do... It's gonna be pretty much the same thing as Magical Meltdown, you know? Like, you go normal summon Alistair, get the invocation, and then you summon whatever fusion monster, and then on the summon, you go Chain Twin Twister, discard, destroy 2 back row opponent controls, and even if your opponent has Solemn Judgment, can't negate the Twin Twister because there's the Meltdown on the field, and you're still on the window of the summon. But this one, even you cannot do anything, so it's kind of sus. Yeah, and hold on a second. Neither player can activate cards or effects when it is special summon. That means that you also cannot use the effect of your own card? I don't know. Maybe there's something that I'm missing, but whatever. Anyways, if you control Yubel, very specifically, discard 1 card and send this face-up card from your spell and trap zone to the grave. Fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from either field as materials, including a Yubel monster. No way! What? That is literally Super Poly! Oh, man, but your opponent can respond. That's kind of a bummer, honestly, because your opponent cannot respond to, like, the first one that is kind of irrelevant, but you can respond to the second one. Oh, man, it's a worse Super Poly in a way. That's so unfortunate. Like, it's still good because it's still a Monster Reborn and a Super Poly in one card, even though the card can physically only use the effect once per turn. Obviously, overall, you can still use the effect twice per turn. I mean, twice per turn. You can use both effects, but only if you have like 2 copies of this card. Because yeah, one copy can use one of the 2, but you can't mimic. Well, you can't use the same effect twice in one turn. But yeah, this is so close to being really good. But overall, I want to say these cards, they definitely look like they have nice potential because again, this wasn't even like an archetype in the anime. They were just like random cards that were put into a deck. And Yubel and Grinder Golem was like an actual scary combo because you're dealing 3k damage to your opponent in a format with 4,000 life points. So it's pretty much the equivalent of dealing 6,000 damage to your opponent. Really, really scary. And on top of that, there was Super Poly around. And obviously, Super Poly is extremely scary regardless of the format, regardless of when it was played, you know, regardless of who plays it. So yeah, being able to, you know, just relive those crazy moments and also see Grinder Golem again just feels incredible. And same thing with Samsara Lotus is just really nice. But this also was something that people were looking forward to for a while because Yubel has just never really gotten anything. I think we have like a Yubel Neos, but yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah, Neos Wise Man. We don't really have much else when it comes to like this anime character because it's also like a character, you know? It's not just a monster card in Yu-Gi-Oh! It was also someone who was part of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX season, I think 4 or something, the Dark World season, and also the last one was like the shadow thing. Like it would only existed in the sub version. But yeah, overall I really like these cards. Off to a great start and definitely has a lot of potential because if they can make Super Poly really easy to access, they definitely might have some nice hope for the future. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.